But
Yeah.
here's I'm going to leave you with this in terms of the hopefulness for social change. One of the things
Okay.
that I have written about a little bit is sort of the trajectory of gay rights in the United States. And for most of American history, gay rights were nowhere. Gay people didn't have any rights. And there were periods in American history, like the 1950s, where there were just like these witch hunts against gay people. People were getting fired. There was tremendous persecution, and gay people had no rights. In most states, I think prior to 1962, in all 50 US states, it was illegal for two men or two women to have consenting adult sex in the privacy of their own home. It was a crime. And of course, if you could make that a crime, then anything that they do is criminal by kind of association. So
Hmm.
it took like 60 years from that
What were the
time.
mechanics of it? What really happened?
So at first, you get just tiny little vanguard movements that are keeping hope alive for a tiny fraction of folks, and everybody else is in the closet. And you just make slow gains over time. So one of the slow gains that they made was getting some states to overturn their laws against sodomy. And part of the reason they got states to do that is because district attorney doesn't want to prosecute those cases. Who's going to be the witness for this kind of case?
Right.
It's like it's they're just very impractical kind of cases, and so they sit on the books unenforced. And then this sort of group of kind of liberal legal scholars comes around in the early 1960s, and they're like, hey states, you should just get rid of this law on the books. It's,
Mm.
every once in a while you got to go through the laws and get rid of stuff that you never used, that doesn't make any sense, like the law about how long somebody can tie up their horse to a post in front of the mayor's house. It's like, nobody's got a horse anymore. There's no post in front of the mayor's house. We don't need that law. Just get rid of it, right? So
Hmm.
the lawyers started to work on it. And then the state, some of the states' legislatures were like, well, we don't need that law. We haven't prosecuted anybody for that for years and years and years. And so there starts to be progress. And when there's a little bit of progress
Mm.
on that front, then for instance, I think in 1975, California made sodomy. They took off the books the law that made sodomy illegal. And when they took that off the books right away, the police in cities like Los Angeles and San Francisco stopped spending so much time trying to entrap gay guys into
Mm.
something so that they could arrest them and throw them in jail. Because if sodomy wasn't a crime, then what was the point? Who cares if some
Hmm.
guy is picking up some other guy in the bathroom? Like, who cares, right? It's not a crime. And then when the police stopped harassing gay people, then gay people started to have a little more freedom. And then they started to be like, well, let's get together. Let's have a collective. Let's live together. Let's put out a newsletter. Let's spread the word a little bit, right? So slowly over time, a little bit of freedom can precipitate a little bit of more freedom. And then when eventually you get to the point in the 90s, so another thing that happened, which was kind of tragic, was the AIDS epidemic, right, forced a lot of gay people to come out of the closet because they were dealing with an emergency. Like, we got to raise money. We got to fight this. We got to find a cure. You can't do that if you're in the closet all the time. So then gay people they're like, all right, we've spent our whole adult life in the closet, but now we got to come out because we got this issue we got to fight for. So then those people came out of the
Hmm.
closet, and then people see, well, someone else comes out of the closet. Maybe it's safe to come out of the closet. Then more people start to come out of the closet. Then enough people start
Mm.
to come out of the closet. Then you start to have a little more freedom. And then people who aren't gay start to realize that they know somebody who's gay, right? Previously, those people were closeted, and straight
Right.
people didn't think they knew any gay people. That was,
Mm.
my dad grew up in Brooklyn in New York, born in 1930, so lived in New York his whole life. He thought he'd never met a gay person. Then it turned out that his best friend from law school was gay, but he hadn't known that. He only found that out after the guy was dead, you know? So
Mm.
so the closet prevented people from organizing, but once people start coming out of the closet, then other people start to know them. And when other people start to know them, then gay people don't seem that scary anymore. It's like, well, if your best friend from law school was gay, how bad, like, gay can't be that bad of a thing because that guy was super smart and super cool and he was charismatic and he was interesting and accomplished. It's like, let's put aside this idea that something is wrong with the gay people and let's just have a sort of fundamental realization that people are people. So, that development from little starts to gay people coming out of the closet and straight people getting to know them, that's a 40-year, 50-year development. And then once people are out of the closet and other people start to know them, attitudes start to change. And once attitudes start to change, it becomes feasible to make the policy change. It's a 60-year window. And at any moment in that 60-year window, it was easy to think, we're never going to get there. It's just too hard. The opponents of gay rights, first of all, had tons of money and like more access, and they had one of the big political parties right in their pocket. I mean, they had everything, and gay people were outnumbered and over, outspent, 10 to 1 all the time. And yet they were able over the course of 60 years to turn it mostly around. And that is a little bit of optimism that I'm going to leave you with.
Yeah.
That long-term social change is possible. It's really hard to change things overnight, but long-term social change is absolutely possible.
Keep at it.
Keep at it. Don't give up. It's been a real pleasure talking to you.